about the rules and regulations, but his on-the-ground experiences with their clinical programs, manufacturing, and some regulatory aspects. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Oliva.
Can you hear me? Is this on? Do I need a microphone? Yes. Okay, did it go out? Okay. All right, so I'm going to be a little less heavy on the regulatory aspects. I think you've gotten beat to death with that already. So I'm Dr. Oliva. Just for disclosures, I work with Longeveron. We're an academic spinoff from the University of Miami. We're a stem cell therapy company. And my disclaimer, these are my own views, not the company's necessarily. Okay. So as the name implies, for a company, we're interested in aging-related disorders. Okay, and so there's a few things on this. Expectancy has gotten a lot better for us. So, we're living about 80 years old on average in the US, okay? But there's a problem with this, which is our health span, our healthy years of living have lagged that, okay? So right now in the US, we can expect to live about 11 years in a pretty debilitated condition, okay? On average, and that's only getting worse as the life expectancy or the life expectancy is going up. Okay, so for us, it's this comes down to the aging process in general, and how can we go about treating the aging process in order to overcome these aging-related disorders? Because almost all these disorders, the root of them is the aging process itself. Okay. And there's a lot of common pathology in this, and I won't go over this for sake of time too much, but things we hear a lot about, fibrosis, inflammation is one of those key aspects leading to a lot of debilitation with regards to aging, degeneration. And I feel like this keeps going out on me. And another thing is decrease in stem cells themselves, okay? So just to give you, I think the battery is going out on this. Mesenchymal.
We can hear you though.
Yeah, why don't like this? Is that okay? It just keeps like going out on me though. Okay. He's from LA. So you get the idea. When you're a newborn, you got a lot of stem cells. As you get older into your 80s, you have a lot fewer of them, okay? And I'm a neuroscientist by training, okay? And one of the things I'm really interested in is how do you treat a condition like this? So here's your healthy brain, and here's your brain on Alzheimer's disease, okay? This is pretty complex pathology, and this is the type of situation where a simple small molecule intervention, it's not going to work, okay? You need something else. And to me, the way, if you're actually going to fix this, is to use the stem cell therapeutic approach. And the reason for this is because stem cells, and in particular ones I'll talk about as well, they have these pleiotropic mechanisms of action. They can do a lot of things at once to help solve that pathology, okay? And in our company, we produce, one of our products is Allogeneic mesenchymal stem cells, okay? And again, the reason for this is multiple mechanisms of action, these pleiotropic mechanisms of action, okay? So in terms of us, what we do is we, one of our products, Longeveron mesenchymal stem cells, these come from bone marrow of young, healthy adult donors, highly screened to be free of communicable diseases, metabolic disorders, et cetera. Very stringent screening process. And these are not minimally manipulated. We get them, we culture expand them to high purity. They go under high QC and quality assurances to make sure that the product in the end being given to those patients is a safe product and a well-characterized product and a reproducible product. Okay, because what we want to do is actually bring something to market that anyone can use in the end. So we have a number of clinical trials currently running in the U.S. and see it went out. And a registry trial going on in Bahamas. So in terms of this, it's a small company. We've only been around for a few years now, and I actually jumped out of academia to join this as a startup because, stem cell therapy, aging-related indications, this is the way you're going to do it. So I've been there ever since. But for us, we have had a lot of very good interactions with FDA. Okay, they have, I wouldn't say have gone completely out of their way, but they have very much been advocates for us rather than antagonists. They've tried to get us over the finish line. We have INDs in place for all of these studies. Okay, we haven't had clinical holds because they've helped us. They've been straightforward. If you want to not have a clinical hold, you need to do this. Okay, we do it. I mean, that's it. So, for us, it's been very good. And we, and the feedback we get from them helps guide our clinical programs forward as well. Okay, so, in terms of, sort of the bigger picture, some of the stuff that, Dr. Marks was talking about, as well as Dr. Alexson, it's getting from the anecdotal evidence to the actual, hard science behind whether or not these products are working. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here. We have a number of clinical trials in phase 1, okay, which is, those are safety trials, okay? For this? Is that working? This microphone I don't think is on.
It's fine.
You can hear it? Yeah. Oh, okay. I can hear myself echoing back here. Okay, it's a lot different. Okay, so, in terms of this, phase 1, safety trials, okay? This is to make sure that your product for that indication isn't going to harm the patients, okay? We do have a couple of trials in safety studies. We have an Alzheimer's disease trial for one of them. That we just finished enrollment on. We have excellent safety data on it. We're already preparing to put in our phase 2 trial. The phase 2, these would be early effect trials, okay? So your primary endpoint here isn't just safety. It really is, are you seeing a clinical benefit, okay? Are you seeing a change in biomarkers? Are you seeing improvement in a clinical outcome, a clinical surrogate? For us, one of the things that's important is that for these, we're interested in aging-related indications, okay? We don't have 60 years to wait to see, okay, well, they lived for 60 years with a lot less debilitation going on. We don't have that. So we have to work with surrogate markers, things that are, potential ways to, these are, ways that are potentially indicative of those long-term clinical benefits. So with something like aging frailty, decreases in hospitalizations and falls and fractures. Okay, so with FDA's guidance, they have helped us, with this. If you want to be able to, get this to a BLA, you're going to have surrogate markers go along with it. So something that's a patient-reported outcome, something that's a some type of physical function outcome, as well as a biomarker to go along with it. Okay, and for us as a company, we have treated over 300 patients so far. Okay, we've had no treatment stop prematurely. We've had no adverse events or serious adverse events related to our product. Okay, and that goes kind of along with what most people in this room know, which is MSCs have a very high safety profile, but we're showing it in a very rigorous way. Okay. Okay. So I'm not going to go over all the trials in detail, but I'll give you just a high-level picture. Aging-related disorders. Okay. A lot of signs and symptoms of this: diminished cognition, cardiovascular status. immunosenescence, which is run down to the immune system as you get older, pro-inflammatory state, diminished strength, diminished endurance capacity, decreased stem cell activity, degeneration. And from our clinical studies so far, we've had good indications of the ability of allogeneic MSCs to improve all these things. Okay, so improve cognitive function, okay, which is actually, that has springboarded into our dementia program. Improve cardiovascular status, improve lung function. Those are coming from our aging frailty trials, and all this stuff is on clinicaltrials.gov. Improved immune system and decreased inflammation, and improve musculoskeletal function. Okay, so if you are not something like our company where you have your own GMP facility, okay, and you're doing everything by the book, okay, but you do want to run a clinical trial, okay, then you're going to have to team up with a manufacturer, whether it's us, whether it's Dr. Tala's lab and Julie, or whoever it is, okay? There are ways that you can accelerate getting over that finish line, okay? Putting in the IND, you don't have to have your own manufacturing section. You can cross-reference or get a basically letter cross-reference to someone that is manufacturing, and you're using their product, okay? That product has already been vetted by FDA, okay? And that's where you want to be. You want to have someone that is making something under IND or under a BLA or a CMF, something, you know, where you know it's a quality product and you know what's being put in your patients. It's gone, you know, it's something that will be under high stringency, high QA, QC, release criteria, and that's what you can use. And from that, you can build your clinical protocol, your informed consent forms, and, you know, put together the IND that then will get past an IRB, and you can go ahead and continue with your studies. Okay, so there's a lot of, you know, ability to do that. But what you do have to team up with is someone that's, you know, being in Miami, not, you know, working out of a van in Hialeah, okay, which we have some questionable characters, you know, not necessarily in the stem cell field, but, you know, in medicine that do some questionable things here in South Florida sometimes. Those are the bad characters. You want to team up with good characters that actually is going to let you get past the regulatory agencies. Okay, and for us, we do everything by the book. We you know, all our domestic stuff goes through FDA. For Bahamas, we work with the Bahamas Ministry of Health to run those programs. We work with the Japanese PMDA, and we're going to be getting trials going on in there as well, and elsewhere throughout the world. Okay. So one other thing is, when you're doing these studies, you know, trying to conduct these highly rigorous studies, you can go ahead and go after grant money for it. Okay, so that's another thing, and have someone else help pay for it, because you are actually trying to get to an answer of something that can lead to a product in the end to be available to everyone. So this is my last slide, but I am going to thank all the people, because I've gotten a lot of grants for all of our studies have been grant funded, fortunately, so we haven't had to use our private funding and dilute that out. And for us, this is a really important thing, because every time you can get a grant, that's another investor you're not trying to find. That is not someone in the end you have to pay off, making for a yet more expensive product, because you're paying off all this initial investor. So this is undiluted funding for the company. So 2 grants from NIH supporting our aging frailty and a metabolic syndrome trial, Alzheimer's disease, 2 competitive grants from them supporting the entire Alzheimer's program. It's been great. And then we are a South Florida company, but we have 2 grants from the state of Maryland under this Maryland TEDCO program. We were, I think, the only ones, they were the first ones to get one of these that was out of state, and we got 2. So we're really happy with state of Maryland right now. But actually, this is a good win for them too, because it's opened up other business in their area. And I'll just keep it there, and I'll leave it for questions later.
Dr. Oliva, and now we're going to switch gears. We've spent a lot of time on